Good evening and welcome to the Pompey Politics Podcast, Prime Minister's Questions Special. I'm Ian Tiny Morris.
And I'm Simon Sainsbury. We'll see how special this is, whether this is a one-off or not. Sure.
Well, it's the new catchily titled PPPPMQ, which I'm sure will catch on. So, yes, I guess for those people who are inconvenienced by work, which means that in the middle of the day they don't get to settle down and enjoy Prime Minister's questions, by the magic of television, radio, and all other mediums, we're going to attempt to bring the edited highlights.
Yes, so we thought we'd focus on the main kind of the leadership, so the interactions between the Prime Minister and Kemi Badenoch, the leader of the opposition, and the leader of the Liberal Democrats, Sir Ed Davey. So we want to keep this one short and sweet. So let's go and play, and then do you want to stop after each question, or do you want to?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah. We'll do it. We'll do it one at a time.
Okay, let's do that one at a time. He says as he's actually then lost the window of the thing that he needed. Here we go.
Mr. Speaker, I'm determined to fix the broken SEND system. No parent should have to fight for the support their child needs. Today we announced a 10-year plan to fix the crumbling school estate that we inherited, delivering a more modern and inclusive classrooms that meet the needs of every child. Mr. Speaker, this morning I had meetings with ministerial colleagues. Now, there's been quite a few of those this week. In addition to my duties in this House, I shall have further such meetings later today.
Thank you. I'd like the Leader of the Opposition, Kemi Badenoch.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And can I associate my side of the House with the Prime Minister's words on the horrific stabbing in North London yesterday, as well as the shooting in Canada? When he was Leader of the Opposition, the Prime Minister said, and I quote, "I never turn on my staff. When they make mistakes, I carry the can." What changed?
Prime Minister.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I've accepted responsibility and apologised for the mistakes that I made. But let me say this, Mr. Speaker. Morgan McSweeney helped me change our party and helped me win a landslide election victory, which delivered for them the smallest Tory party in over 100 years. And what's her great achievement? To make it even smaller.
So we'll pause then. What are you thinking so far?
Well, the laughter at the start, there was an element of, you kind of think, after the week the Prime Minister's had, I accept, if you don't laugh, you're going to have to cry. But it seemed slightly odd for me to be laughing about, I had some ministerial meetings this week. That strike you as odd?
I must admit, I kind of heard it as essentially him kind of owning and a bit of self-depreciatingly kind of remarking on the events of the week. So I kind of thought he was kind of owning the moment, and of course the kind of speculation, the heavy speculation that's been going on over the last couple of days.
Oh, yeah.
So to me, that kind of landed as, there's all these things been going on. So yeah, I didn't take it that way, I must admit. Do let us know if you're listening and following that, what you think in the comments. Don't forget you can watch this in portrait or landscape. I've put all the links in the chat.
And I guess celebrating the tenure of Morgan McSweeney, did he really mastermind a landslide victory? I take on board it was a crushing defeat for the Conservatives and ended up with the smallest Conservative kind of members of Parliament for 100 years.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure it was. You needed to be a mastermind to use the words. We're not the Conservatives, we're not the Conservatives. We're not. If you're thinking we're the Conservatives, we're not. Which appeared to be the main election strategy. So, yes.
So just to clarify, they're not the Conservatives.
Well, it would appear not. Well, again, if you ask, he's helped there are some of my friends who are on the further left of the Labour Party who might argue that Morgan McSweeney had masterminded, he had helped turn the Labour Party into a centre-right version of One Nation Conservatives. Obviously, I wouldn't agree with them, but it is a position. So yeah.
Let's hear more.
Kemi Badenoch.
The whips have done a great job today. This is like the 37th. Oh, he said, yeah, exactly. Done a great job today getting them cheering. We all know that they've been sick for the last week. Because let's remember, Mr. Speaker, just last week, he told us that he had full confidence in his Chief of Staff, Morgan McSweeney. On Sunday, he sacked Morgan McSweeney. Last week, he resigned. Yes. Last week, Mr. Speaker, he was defending the Cabinet Secretary. Now he is sacking him. What changed?
Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, in January, she said she had full confidence, 100% confidence, she said, be no more defections from her party. 48 hours later, the Shadow Foreign Minister defected. 8 days after that, the former Home Secretary defected. The only question now is, who's next? She needs to wake up. Her party is dying.
Anything to contribute on that? Should we move on?
Well, I think we'll let this one play a bit more.
That's
oh yeah,
exactly,
no, there's the.
I'm overboard. I'm overburdened. I've had enough. I'm tired.
No, he's coming out swinging, isn't he? Let's see see what more he's got to offer.
Oh, hang on. I think I might have skipped a bit. Hang on, sorry.
Standards in public life, Mr. Speaker, along with the Safeguarding Minister,
published on the is sacking him. Yes. What changed?
Hang on.
Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, in January, she said she had
atmospheric levels of delusion if he thinks the problem.
Prime Minister defected. 8 days after that,
does, and they. Why? Yeah. He announced a peerage for one. It is because he is. Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister is demonstrating stratospheric levels of delusion if he thinks the problem is on this side of the House. And he didn't say anything about why the Cabinet Secretary is going. We know the truth. It is because he is throwing everyone under a bus except himself. And, Mr. Speaker, the Mandelson episode was not an isolated incident. A few weeks ago, he announced a peerage for one Matthew Doyle, his former Director of Communications. Immediately after that, the Sunday Times published on the front page that Doyle campaigned for a man charged with child sex offences. Yet, despite the Prime Minister knowing this, he gave Doyle a job for life in the House of Lords anyway. Why?
Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, Matthew Doyle did not give a full account of his actions. And on Monday, I promised my party and my country there would be change. And yesterday, I removed the whip from Matthew Doyle. I'll tell you what other action we've taken, Mr. Speaker. Along with the Safeguarding Minister, I and this government have introduced the most far-reaching violence against women and girls strategy. And I'll tell you what else we've done. This government has introduced a pay rise for millions of working-class women. What did the Leader of the Opposition do? She opposed it. This government's introducing greater protection for women at work. What did the Leader of the Opposition do? She opposed it. And I'll tell you what else she opposes. This government removing the disgusting rape clause that they put in place.
Cool.
He's not exactly sitting there and just taking the punches, is he?
Well, I think he's been kind of. It seems a strange line to take in terms of the incident over Matthew Doyle. Again, having looked at it, it's another situation where they didn't give a full account of themselves, but then a sort of a strange attack line to go after Kemi Badenoch on violence against women and girls. It's robust, I grant you, but I'm not sure it's in.
It's not
If I
exactly
may quote,
defeating, though, is it? When you're saying, "Oh, actually, this is someone else whose lies I believed in an interview process."
well, and that's the. It seems rather a distasteful attack line for me, but yeah, perhaps I'm not going to be his biggest fan, but have we got some more?
We have. Yep.
Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister pretends not to know about Matthew Doyle. It was on the front page of the Sunday Times. He cannot explain why he gave this man a peerage, and I think they should be wondering why they're still cheering for him after that. And the Prime Minister, sometimes likes to claim, as he just did, that he cares about violence against women. The truth is, he only cares about the victims when he's trying to save his own skin. They can shake their heads. We saw it with grooming gangs. We saw it with Mandelson. And now we see it with Doyle. Isn't that what a former prosecutor would call an established pattern of behaviour?
Mr. Speaker, I'm going to take no lectures from the Tories in standards in public life. She defended Partygate for months and months and months. And even now she says it was overblown. The Shadow Foreign Secretary broke the ministerial code by bullying. Boris Johnson kept her. The leader of the opposition promoted her. She sits on her front bench. Her former Shadow Justice Secretary complained about not seeing enough white faces in Birmingham, and she was too weak to sack him for racism.
Nobody buys it, Mr. Speaker. Not even the Labour women, because they know he always puts the Downing Street Boys Club first. And how dare he criticise us? We weren't the ones stuffing government with hypocrites and paedophile apologists. He can't build a team, Mr. Speaker. He has no plan. He can't even run his own office, let alone the country. He is now dealing with a new scandal of appointing someone who campaigned for a man convicted of having indecent pictures of girls as young as 10. Isn't the Prime Minister ashamed that that will be his legacy?
Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, my legacy is changing my party and winning a general election. And I'll tell you this, I kicked my former leader out of my party. Her former leader, Liz Truss, broke the economy and has descended into bonkers conspiracy theories. I kicked her out of Parliament. She's too weak to kick her out of their party.
Kemi Badenoch.
Mr. Speaker, he hasn't apologised for appointing Matthew Doyle because he won't take responsibility. He never does, and they know it. The Prime Minister is now telling everyone that he's never lost a fight. It's because he won't step into the ring. He's never lost a fight. He's walked away from welfare reform. He won't stand up to the unions. He won't stand up to China. He can't even stand up to Mauritius. He's had, Mr. Speaker, he's had 3 cabinet secretaries, 4 chiefs of staff, 5 director of communications in just 18 months. And now he is mired in yet another scandal. Does he ever look in the mirror and ask himself, is the real problem staring him in the face?
Mr. Speaker, I delivered a landslide victory for our government. Only 4 people have ever led the Labour Party to victory in a general election. I am one of them. And she talks about numbers. Let us remember, Mr. Speaker, 5 Prime Ministers, 7 Chancellors, 8 Home Secretaries, 8 Foreign Secretaries, 16 Housing Secretaries, all completely useless, all failed Britain, and this Prime Minister's clearing up the mess. She comes here every week desperately fighting to save her dying party. I'm fighting to change our country. Interest rates down. Inflation down, waiting lists down, child poverty down, and I'll tell you another thing's down, the number of Tory MPs.
So,
Feisty old exchange, wasn't it?
it was. If we were expecting kind of something subdued and contrite, we were labouring under misapprehension.
Mm.
Yeah, there was lots of point scoring, but there is a fundamental question of, well, how many times can you employ someone? Can it not be your fault for employing someone that turns out to not really be a very good person, or to have been guilty of heinous crimes?
Yeah, and I think the challenge for me, and it is a valid, it's a valid pushback. There is that piece where, if you look at why the Tories unravelled, a lot of that was about the complete unravelling for me of standards in public office, an arrogance and a kind of posh boys club thing going on, that the rules just don't apply to us. And I absolutely get that. I think the thing that I'm struggling with is one of the things that, that Keir was very, very clear about in his election run-up, as well as we're not the Conservatives. It was very much we're different. And standards in public office was something he played really heavily to. And that's why I think I'm struggling with that. Well, they didn't tell me the whole truth. Brackets, barrister, forensic prosecutor. Liars tend not to tell you the whole truth.
No. And that kind of shouldn't come really as a shock. I mean, we spoke in the show on Sunday about how good is your vetting process if you're not finding out, these sorts of things that people are, that people have actually said that are actually even in the public domain. That just kind of doesn't seem to kind of pass muster, does it? Your image is frozen, by the way.
Oh, sorry, chum. That's where I've not got notes these days. So
that's okay. Should we listen to the question from Sred Davey? I think I've lost your audio. I don't know if you can still hear. But I'm going to play the Ed Davey.
Davey, Leader of the Liberal Democrats.
Mr. Speaker, can I associate myself with the Prime Minister's remarks about the dreadful stabbing of 2 children in Brent and about the horrifying shootings in British Columbia? Our thoughts and prayers are with the children's parents and the people of Canada, especially those grieving the loss of loved ones. Mr. Speaker, to appoint one paedophile supporter cannot be excused as misfortune. To appoint 2 shows a catastrophic lack of judgment. The Right Honourable Gentleman once told this House that when a Prime Minister refuses to take responsibility, and I quote, "It only serves to convince people that things cannot get better, that governments cannot improve people's lives, and that progress is not possible because politics does not work." Does he still agree with himself? And does he share my fear that that is exactly what is happening now?
Minister.
People in this country, millions of people, have been let down for years and years and years. And one of the reasons was austerity, which his party supported. He should take accountability and take responsibility for what he has inflicted on this country.
Sir Ed Davey.
Mr. Speaker, I think I touched a raw nerve. But I think the whole House will agree that the Manson scandal has shown yet again why we need a duty of candour for anyone and everyone in public office. Mr. Speaker, there should be no more delays in putting the Hillsborough Law on the statute books. After the long fight by the bereaved families and so many others, like the Mayor of Greater Manchester. The Prime Minister once said it would be one of the first things he did in number 10. Will he finally do it now, even if it's the last thing he does?
Prime Minister.
The panel report in the Hillsborough case was when I started working on the Hillsborough case. That was in 2012. when his party were in power. And they could have passed this law a long time ago and saved a lot of grief. I'm proud that this Labour government is bringing in a Hillsborough law, something I've committed to for a very, very long time.
Richard Quidley.
So, yeah.
Well, again, a very strangely defensive position, because the a little bit of for me another valid question, very similar to Kemi's question, but the response was, "Boo sucks. Your party was complicit in starting austerity 14 years ago." Really? Is that the best you've got?
It doesn't seem to be kind of like a... If all we're going to do is essentially what happens on pretty much every Facebook discourse, which is a great helping of whataboutery and a great helping of, well, we've not done it yet, but we haven't not done it for as long as you didn't not do it when you were in power because you didn't. I just think for the victims of the crimes that they're talking about, that's just not good enough. At the end of the day, either it's taking time because it's something that needs doing, particularly there's complications and it needs doing well, and that's what the delay is. In which case, explain it, make that case. But for different parties to consistently keep repeating, "Oh well, it was we haven't got round to it yet, but when you were in power, you didn't do it," or "We've not got round to it yet, but when you were in power, basically you did not." I just is that really kind of the leadership and the vision for the future of the country that the voters are hoping for? I don't think it is.
No, and I think if we look at that, there's an element of, for me, and again, it's about political strategy, isn't it? It's that element of a cornered animal becomes a desperate animal, and that felt like somebody fighting for their political life. As I say, some of the response to Kemi around the violence of women and girls made me feel quite uncomfortable, and the ignoring of the question from Ed Davey and but you brought in austerity. It just feel. I think my summary is it just all felt a bit desperate, didn't it?
I think it got quite personal in those last two questions, and if anything, that was a political overreaction rather than my colleague makes a good point, we're doing this to move forward with that. So rather than act, and this is perhaps the frustration that lots of us would feel, is that you're not actually answering. The only questions you actually answer are the ones that come from your own side. Isn't the new swimming pool in whatever
Eastney
a really great thing? No, don't start.
Sorry.
A really great idea. Yes, I completely agree that it's fantastic that that the insert same party as me council is doing so well in that area. It's just really could we just not actually fix the fundamentals of there are these issues and there are people that have been suffering and there have been victims that have suffered for years, for decades, and we need a better answer than a bit of point scoring.
Yeah, well, you didn't fix it. Well, no, but you. And I think that's the key thing for me. If you're going to go on about you being a point of difference and change, how often do we hear the word change from the Labour Party? Now's your chance to deliver it. You have got a majority a mile wide, and I think there's that element of, well, now's your chance, and I guess it's that piece, isn't it? Opposition is easy. I wouldn't do that. Ooh, why aren't you doing that? You should do that. Government is hard, and I think we might come back again next week and see whether the Prime Minister is still in a feisty fighting mood, and well, that's of course if he's still here next Wednesday.
Well, there is that indeed. So we've got that to look forward to. So we'll give this another run next week and see how that goes. But let us know what your thoughts are. Do please remember to like, follow, subscribe, etc. Send biscuits or tea, chocolate if necessary.
Money.
Money. Yes, that would be great. You can see the links for any way that you'd like to support the show. But please also do, if you want to get our regular newsletter, sign up for that.
So you've been listening to the Pompey Politics Podcast, Prime Minister's Question Time special. Join us next Sunday when we will be looking ahead to the local council elections in May that some thought may never happen. I've been Ian Tiny Morris.
And I've been Simon Sainsbury. See you on Sunday, 6:27. Don't forget to like, follow and comment on Facebook, or comment and subscribe on YouTube. Find us on all the social media platforms: Facebook, X, YouTube, Threads, LinkedIn.